over Masataka Yoshida's head, and he doesn't see the ball. He doesn't catch it. He's like, what, where's the ball? What? All right, hello, and welcome back to the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. I'm your host, Frank Rampin, as always, and we're going to dive into another week of this year's baseball season, as we're about halfway through August now, getting into the nitty-gritty of the baseball season, about a month and a half to go, and we're going to get into our weekly update. So let's start with our weekly recap, and we have a little bit of a different section to start this off, and it's the What Just Happened segment, right? What just happened? So, Wednesday night in Boston at Fenway Park, Red Sox versus the Royals. Kyle Isbell comes up, and we got the video here right for you. Kyle Isbell comes up and smokes one to left field over Masataka Yoshida's head, and he doesn't see the ball. He doesn't catch it. He's like, what, where's the ball? What? And if you notice, the first outlight is shattered. The ball went right through the first outlight, shattered right through it, and is just sitting in there. Run scored from first, mind you, so it was a ground rule double. Runner had to go back to third, and the run ended up not scoring, and the Red Sox ended up winning by 1 run. So the Green Monster comes into play, swallows up a ball, the monster it is, and saves the Red Sox, keeps the Royals off the board, saves them a run, and ends up winning them the ball game because the Red Sox end up winning by 1. And fun fact, I've been talking about Kike Hernandez, the bobblehead, all that. That was Kike Hernandez bobblehead night, so I was there. And Kike, if you're listening, you commented before. Hey, hum now. Are you kidding me? Get him in there. Get him in there. Look at that. Kike, gotcha, brother. Right here. Hum now. So, Kike wasn't playing in that game, obviously, because he's on the Dodgers now. But pretty interesting stuff. Masataka Yoshida. I was at the game. I was sitting down by the pesky pole in right field on the right field line. I thought he caught it. From my angle, it looked like Yoshida jumped up and made a nice catch at the wall. And I thought the noise was him smashing into the wall. But after a second, he got up and started looking around like, oh, he didn't catch it. I thought then it hit off his glove and went into the little slit in the wall where the guys with the camera and the guy who does the scoreboard is sitting at. That's what I thought happened. But then you could tell that the first outlight was a little bit off. It was broken a little bit, shattered. You could tell that the light had a little bit of white in it. You could see the actual light coming through the red. And sure enough, Yoshida reaches into the wall and grabs the ball out, ground rule double. And after the game, Alex Cora had this to say. He said, we go over the rules, and they always ask about if the ball gets stuck in the monster. I'm like, that's not going to happen. But it did. So that may be a first, and I was there for it. So pretty cool thing to see. Kike Hernandez bobblehead night. Let's go, baby. Kike, love you. Let's go, baby. Even though you're killing my A's. You just smoked my A's in a series last week, but it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. So, next part, we're going to go with the MLB's hottest team, keeping that trend going. Instead of this week, last week it was the Baltimore Orioles. Now we've moved on to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're regained their regular season dominance. And I mean, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are just so good at baseball. Like, they're just so good at baseball. They're so good. Freddie was over like a 25-game span, was hitting 500. For a 25-game span, Freddie Freeman was hitting 500. That's unheard of. And I mean, like I said, the Dodgers look like the normal regular season dominant Dodgers that they do every single year. And I mean, it's really absurd. It really is. And I'm sorry, I can't get over how much I love this one. It's such a great addition now. Look at this. Kike. Look at this guy. We got Kike, we got Chapman, we got Matty O, who we're going to talk about a lot today. Are you kidding me? We got Bobby with the mustache. We got Nestor, Captain America, Derek Jeets, Bucky Dent. You kidding me? And then we got Severino. Oh boy, I'm going to talk about that one. And then now, we'll move on. I say it every week. My favorite part of the weekly recap, the outfield play of the week. And making his outfield play of the week segment return. By the way, this is episode 6, right? Bobby Valentine Sports Show, episode 6. This is going to be the 3rd appearance by this man in 6 weeks. So he's accounted for 50% of our outfield plays of the week. Just putting that out there. But here we go. Cedric Mullins. Oh my God. This guy seems like he's making a ridiculous play every other time I watch the Orioles play. He did get hurt. He spent a little bit. He spent about a month, maybe 3 weeks to a month down in the minor leagues. But he's back, and oh boy, is he back. So we're going to jump to Seattle, where the Orioles are taking on the Mariners. Bottom of the 9th inning, 3-2 lead for the Orioles, and Ty France is hitting with 1 away in the bottom of the 9th inning. And we'll pump it up. So France gets one and smokes it to deep right center field. Cedric Mullins back to the wall, leaps, and oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? He pulled this thing about 2 feet over the fence, yanked it back. It would have been the tying run, home run right there, and he just yanks it back. Are you kidding me, Cedric Mullins? We got to look at this one more time. Are you serious right now? Oof, Ty France really get into that one. Cedric to the track, and how many times has he robbed a home run in his career? How many times has he robbed a home run this year? That's the 3rd time he's been on this, and all 3 of the plays have been him robbing a home run. He robbed Byron Buxton of 2 homers earlier, and then he just robs Ty France of a game-tying home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. So 2 away now, right? 2 away. Next batter, 2 pitches later, Dominic Canzone with the bat flip. Oh my goodness. Off the windows of the suites back there at T-Mobile Park. Oh my God, are you kidding me? So Cedric goes out there and makes a ridiculous home run robbery to prevent the tying run, and then 2 pitches later, gives it up again. This time an absolute no-doubter. Cedric, nobody in the world has a chance to rob that one. Are you kidding me? That ball is smoked off the facing of the suites in the second deck. Are you kidding me? That's Adley Rutschman territory from this year's home run derby. Look at this. Ooh, look at that bat flip. Are you kidding me right now? Jeez, and that's his first home run as a Mariner. So Cedric Mullins almost saved the game, 1 out away, and then a home run. But guess who comes up in the top of the 10th inning? Cedric Mullins. And after working a 3-2 count and ripping an absolute moonshot that just went foul, 3-2 count, about an 8-9 pitch at bat, foul homer, Cedric goes and does this. Blast off. 2-run homer, top of the 10th inning. Cedric Mullins robs a home run. Cedric Mullins hits a home run. Orioles win 5-3. Are you kidding me right now? This is the Cedric Mullins game. This guy is just he's a regular on our outfield play of the week segment. He's 50% of the time it's Cedric Mullins robbing a home run. So he robs a home run. So if Cedric Mullins doesn't rob that home run, Ty France and Dominic Canzone go back-to-back, and the Orioles lose in the 9th inning. But he robs a home run, comes up in extras, and absolutely tees off on a 3-2 pitch to win the game for the Baltimore Orioles. Jeez, Cedric. So that, I was debating very heavily between that game and this next segment, which is going to be our game of the week, between which was going to be our game of the week. And I don't know, I felt like I had to put that ending in there because that ending was insane. Cedric Mullins robbing a home run, next batter homering, and then Cedric Mullins homering in the top half of the 10th inning to actually seal the deal for the Orioles is just an absurd game. So I had to add that in there to our outfield play of the week segment. But now we'll jump into the game of the week. And this game actually happened yesterday, as well as that game. But Yankees-Marlins. And I really didn't know what to pick between these 2 games. Orioles-Mariners and Yankees-Marlins. I ended up going with Yankees-Marlins. You'll see why. But oh my gosh, a bunch of great games yesterday. So we're going to pick it up here. First of all, we're going to talk about Garrett Cole started this game. And Garrett Cole has been the AL Cy Young frontrunner all season long. And he has been unbelievable. And he didn't do anything but that yesterday. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, helped his Cy Young cause. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're going to pick it up here in the top of the 2nd inning with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at the dish. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, interesting season he's been having. I mean, he's playing center field, he's playing left field, he's playing short, he's playing third. Like, how many positions has that guy played this year? And I mean, he's been okay, but I mean, just a very interesting kind of, I don't know, weird. That's all I have to say about that. But we'll pick it up here. Top of the 2nd inning, IKF, runner on second base. He's going to rip run back up the middle. And Harrison Bader's going to come in. Jazz Chisholm's going to throw to home, and his throw is going to be very wild over towards first. Yuli Gurriel cuts it off, and Bader scores to make it 1-0 Yanks. So we'll jump ahead to the 3rd inning now with Giancarlo Stanton at the plate. And he's going to smoke one down the left field line. This one's going to one-hop the wall. And Brian De La Cruz is going to overrun it a little bit. Aaron Judge, with bad toe and all, he's going to come around to score without a throw. So Giancarlo extends the Yankees' lead to 2-0. See that? De La Cruz overruns the ball just a tiny bit, allowing Judge to score all that easier. So 2-1 Yanks, top of the third inning. We'll go to the bottom half. And La Regadera, we've talked about him a lot. Luis Ariz comes up, runners in scoring position. He's been hitting 400 over the course of the entire season. It's August 15th, folks. August 15th, and he's hitting 400 with runners in scoring position. And what's he going to do? He's going to bloop one over the shortstop's head into shallow left to bring in a run. Joey Wendell scores. 2-1 Yanks. He does his little fish celebration. He probably punched John Jay in the chest. Gave him a nice little bruise there. And then we're going to go to the top of the fourth inning. After Billy McKinney leads it off with a single, here comes the rookie shortstop, Anthony Volpe. And Anthony Volpe has been under the radar. He really has been. And what does he do? He comes up and he absolutely smokes this 1-1 pitch from Yuri Perez over the fence into the club in left field in Miami. Out there at the club, looks like it's kind of packed with Yankees fans over there. So Anthony Volpe smokes one. Apparently, John Sterling, he calls him the Fox. He said, the Fox sucks one. I don't know what that means. So 4-1 Yanks going to the fifth inning here. And then going to the fifth inning. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And after Gleyber Torres stole second and third base, he eventually scores on a wild pitch. So 5-1 Yanks. And then base hit by Harrison Bader makes it first and third. And a forced out, a ground ball, they weren't able to turn double play. Forced out by Billy McKinney allows the other run to score. So 6-1 Yanks through 5. 6-1 Yanks through 5. All right? And we'll jump ahead to the sixth inning, and Ben Rortvedt, the catcher, because Jose Trevino is out for the year. He's the backup catcher now. Ben Rortvedt hits his first home run of the season at the second deck here in Miami. So 7-1. 7-1 Yanks. Like, you're probably thinking right now, game of the week, what are you talking about? But if you saw the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Jake Berger in the bottom of the sixth inning comes up. Garrett Cole still on the mound. 7-1 game. He's going to rip one through the right side into right field. Judge is not going to be able to get Josh Bell at the plate. So 7-2 ball game. I mean, not that crazy. I mean, that's not a close game. 7-2, it's 5 runs into the eighth inning. Into the eighth inning we go. Wandy Peralta walks Josh Bell to lead off the inning. And the next batter, Brian De La Cruz, rips one over the third baseman's head. That's going to get into the corner in left field. Josh Bell, he's digging around second base, and Jake Bauers has the ball. Oh, that Billy McKinney has it ricochet off the wall and loses it, allowing Josh Bell to score standing up without a throw. So 7-3 ball game now, and he does that little Luis Ariz celebration. So now we're going to jump to the ninth inning. And Clay Holmes is coming up. Clay Holmes has been very, very good. So 7-3 ball game heading into the ninth, and Clay Holmes has been very good over the course of the midsummer, June and July. The Yankees have won 78 consecutive games when they have a four-run lead or more going into the ninth inning, and it is 4 runs right now. So Clay Holmes walks Brian De La Cruz. Oh, I'm sorry. Yuli Gurriel comes up, and he rips a double to lead off the bottom of the ninth inning. And then walk. Oh, I'm sorry. So Yuli Gurriel hits a double. The next batter has an infield single, first and second. And then the next batter walks. So bases loaded, 1 out, 1 away. 1 away. Here comes Josh Bell. And Josh Bell has been very, very good ever since he came down to Miami. He became the first player in Marlins history to hit a home run from both sides of the plate. He is a very, very good hitter. And he comes up in a big spot here. It's a tying run in the bottom of the ninth inning, 7-3 ball game, 1 out, bases loaded. And he's going to ground one that hits Clay Holmes in the hip, bounces away from him, and then he throws it down the right field line. 2 runs are going to score, so now 7-5. See this again. Holmes actually threw this ball off of Josh Bell. So Josh Bell hits a grounder off of Clay Holmes. He's like, nah, I'm hitting you with this ball. It smokes him in the hip. 2 runs coming to score. 7-5 ball game. Holmes still in the game. Next batter, Luis Ariz. Rips one down the first base line. That's going to rattle around in the corner. Jazz is walking home. Josh Bell is getting the wave. He's going to come in standing again as Luis Ariz slides into third with a 2 RBI game-tying triple. 4 runs in the 9th inning, 7-7 ball game. Oh my. Oh my. So Holmes is out. Tommy Kahnle comes into the ball game. And Jake Berger comes up and he takes that hanging changeup, rips it down the left field line. Billy McKinney's got no chance. Arise walks in with the winning run. And the Marlins score 5 in the bottom of the 9th inning to walk off the Yanks in an absolute stunner. They waste a great start from Cole, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 7-3 ball game going into the 9th inning, and they lose 8-7. Unreal game there. Jeez. Like, how does that happen? The Yankees blow another Garrett Cole start. They've been one of the best bullpens in the league all year, and that happens in the 9th inning. That's a backbreaker for the New York Yankees. Jeez. If I've ever seen a backbreaker before, that's a backbreaker. At a time where the Yankees really desperately need wins. So that hurts. That hurts. Okay, so we'll move on. So there's our game of the week. Pretty crazy. A couple crazy games yesterday if you didn't see them. We'll get into that. But the MLB standings update is next. We'll jump right into it. So, as we always do, we'll start with the American League East and the Baltimore Orioles. They're still looking like a very dangerous team right now. They cooled off a little bit over the past week as the Dodgers have taken their spot as the MLB's hottest team. But they look dangerous right now, and they have a streak of 76 consecutive multi-game series without being swept. And that's the 4th longest streak in the history of the MLB. So, I mean, that's some crazy stuff. That's pretty much since Adley Rutschman's been in the league. So, I mean, that guy has had a absolute resurrection for this franchise, this organization. All these players rally around this guy, and he has been unbelievable. But another player has been unbelievable so far this season, over the past month, Ryan Mountcastle. He has been scorching hot since his IL stint. He had an IL stint with vertigo. So, good thing he's back from that. But he hit a 472-foot home run at Camden Yards this week, which is the longest homer hit by an Oriole in that ballpark since 2006. It's a pretty long time ago. And, I mean, he's been carrying the cover off the baseball. In like 22 games since he's been back, he's hitting close to 400. And he's been very, very good. So that's a good reason for them. Hopefully they can continue to surge and separate themselves from the Rays because, I mean, the Rays, they did have a wild series this past weekend against Cleveland. Very weird stuff going on, though. Wander Franco got scratched from the lineup yesterday. We're not going to go too much into that, but the MLB is doing an investigation on him. Very weird to see about that. We'll see what comes of that. So that could be something to look at. But they walked off 2 past days. I said that I was debating between that Orioles-Mariners game and the Yanks-Marlins game for Game of the Week. I was also debating on the Guardians-Rays game from Saturday when, in the top of the 9th inning, Pete Fairbanks walked the bases loaded, and then the Rays pitching, Pete Fairbanks had 2. Another reliever had another one. 3 wild pitches to score all 3 of the runs to tie the game in the top of the 9th. And that was the game when Wander came up and hit a walk-off home run immediately after that. I'm sure you saw that. But 3 walks in a row to load the bases, and all 3 of those walks scoring a wild pitch to tie the game in the top of the 9th. That's pretty wild, too. That was almost the game of the week. But the Rays end up coming up clutch in the win with the Wander Franco walk-off homer. And they still sit atop the AL's top wild card spot. They still hold that. So, Rays still looking good, but something to look at as we don't know what's going to happen with Wander Franco. Blue Jays, they're holding the last AL wild card spot right now, but they've been a little bit shaky, but they're still in control of their own destiny as of right now. And George Springer, this week, he homered to cap off a 13-pitch at-bat. It was the longest at-bat ending in a home run by a Blue Jay since 2000. Unbelievable at-bat from him. And it was a lead off the game. It was a 13-pitch at-bat to lead off the game, ending in a home run. How about that? That's how you wear a pitcher down and get him demoralized before the game barely even starts, without getting it out yet. And we'll talk about the Red Sox for a second. I was just there. Like I said, Kike got the bobblehead. Look how sick the shoes are. Look how sick look at that. Look at the mint. Like, come on. Oh, beauty. Red Sox are only 3 games back of the Blue Jays for the wild card spot. And, I mean, the offense is good, but the pitching is And Devers just became the 7th Red Sox player in Red Sox franchise history to score 500 runs before he turned 27. So that's pretty good company there, as the Red Sox are a pretty storied franchise. I mean, Carl Yastrzemski, Ted Williams, Babe Ruth before he got traded, but, I mean, that's pretty cool. And like I said, Kyle Isbell, he hit a ball that got stuck in the Green Monster, ended up in a ground rule double. Run didn't score from first, as he actually did come around to score, but he had to go back because it was a ground rule double. And the Red Sox won by 1. So the Green Monster helps the Red Sox get a win in the day that I was there. So that was pretty fun. Kike Hernandez bobblehead day. That thing is sick. And we'll talk about the Yanks for a second. They had a heart-wrenching loss. They're 4 games back of Boston right now. Or no, 4 games back of a wild card spot, excuse me. Only 1 game back of Boston, but, I mean, the Yanks are weird. The Yanks are weird. I mean, what the heck? And so the Mets are sitting in second to last right now, but the Mets look really bad. The Yankees are sitting in last right now. The Yankees have been around forever, 1901, New York Islanders. The Mets have been around since, what, 62, something like 60-something? Not sure exactly. Somebody tell me. I don't know. Don't bash me for it. But in the history of both those teams, it's been a long time. It's been 60-plus years. The Yankees and the Mets have never finished in last in the same season, ever. That's never happened before. They've never both finished last in the same year. So could this be the year? The Nationals just swept us. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but oh my gosh. Whew. National League East, the Braves. Oh my gosh, the Braves. They did lose last night. The Mets were able to salvage 1 of the 4 games of the set. But this team is the best team in the league by far. They're so good. Like, they're so good. And this guy, let's talk about this guy for a second. Matt Olson. What is going on? He just took over the MLB home run lead this week. He's got 43 now. He hit numbers 41 and 42 in the same game on Saturday. And he already has 100 RBIs. It's August 15th. It's mid-August. He has 43 home runs and over 100 RBIs right now. This guy is an MVP candidate. His teammate in right field, Ronald Acuna Jr., is probably going to win MVP. Freddie Freeman's going to be a candidate too. But this guy needs to get MVP votes. He needs to get them. If he doesn't, there's something wrong. Matt Olson is having a ridiculous season. And he's one of 7 players since 1962 to have 40 homers and 100 RBIs in his team's first 113 games. One of 7 in the last 60 years. I mean, he has more home runs, 43, than the Braves have losses, 42. Think about that. There's only been 6 players ever to do that. Ever. More home runs than the team has losses right now. He's on pace to hit 59. So, I mean, the Braves could lose less than 59 games. Oh, my God. They're hitting home runs at a ridiculous pace. They're 1 home run behind the 2019 Minnesota Twins Bomba Squad for the all-time record, on pace for the all-time record. The Twins were 1 home run ahead of them by this date. But they're right there. And Charlie Morton became the 11th pitcher in Major League Baseball history to issue 7 or more walks over exactly 5 scoreless innings. So 7 walks or more, 5 scoreless. So, I mean, impressive stuff to not let the guys get in, but a lot of traffic on the bases. And the Mets got smoked by them this week. The Braves, they were the first team to outscore an opponent by 20 or more runs in a doubleheader since August 22nd of 2007. Because they scored 21 runs in the first game. They beat the Mets 21-3 in Game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday. And in that game, Nicky Lopez, who the Braves just got in a trade from the Royals, he made his Braves debut. And in this game, which was his Braves debut, Nicky Lopez became the first player ever to have 4 or more hits, 5 or more RBIs, and have a scoreless pitching outing, because he threw a scoreless inning in relief because they were up 21-3. So he came in and threw a scoreless outing in relief. First player ever with 4 or more hits, 5 or more RBIs, and a scoreless outing in a game since RBIs became an official stat in 1920. So the Mets on the wrong side of history again. And the Braves have 22 home runs of 450 or more feet this year. 22 home runs, more than 450 feet. And that's the most since StatCast started tracking home run distance in 2015. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? This Braves team looks like they're on another level. And I don't know who's going to stop them in the National League. But something that maybe could, the Phillies, they're very good. They look really good right now. And Michael Lorenzen just threw a no-hitter in his second start as a Philly. I talked about how he was doing good last time. He was the first Phillies pitcher since, I think, 2009 to throw 8 or more innings in his debut with the team. So he comes into his second start in his home debut at Citizens Bank Park, and he throws a no-hitter. And he became just the 5th player in MLB history to throw a no-hitter in his home debut. And he joined Don Cardwell for the Cubs in 1960, so the first player since 1960 to throw a no-hitter in his home debut, 5th player ever. Jay Hughes for the Orioles in 1898, Bumpus Jones for the Reds in 1892, and Ed Cushman for the Milwaukee Braves in 1884. So 3 dudes on this 5-person list to throw a no-hitter in their home debut were in the 1800s. And one of them was 1960. And the last one was last week. Michael Lorenzen. Think about that for a second. Jeez. And this stat might be even crazier about Michael Lorenzen and this. There's only been 4 pitchers that have played in the major leagues after attending Fullerton Union High School in Fullerton, California, right? The pitchers are Michael Lorenzen, Mike Warren, Walter Johnson, and Steve Busby, right? The only 4 pitchers that have ever pitched in the major leagues from Fullerton Union High School in Fullerton, California. All 4 of them have thrown no-hitters in their career. What? Are you serious? That might be the most ridiculous stat I've ever seen. 4 players that ever pitched from the same school and they all throw a no-hitter in their career. That's insane. And one of them is Walter Johnson. The heck? Weston Wilson, Phillies rookie, became the first Philly to homer in his first major league at-bat since Marlon Anderson in 1998. So, good stuff there from Weston Wilson. Second person to do that, joining Davis Schneider in the past couple weeks. And the Phillies hold the NL's top wildcard spot. So they look good right now. They do look good right now. Marlins, we talked about them a little bit because they had that crazy comeback win in our game of the week against the Yanks. They've still been pretty shaky, though, since the break. But, like I said earlier, Josh Bell became the first Marlins player in franchise history to hit a home run from both sides of the plate in the same game. So that's pretty cool. And they had a crazy game to beat the Yankees yesterday, game of the week, and they hold the last NL wildcard spot. They got that with that crazy win yesterday. And the Mets, I don't even know 70% of the players anymore, like Arauz and like Ortega. I don't really know those guys, so it's like kind of weird to see. Albert Almonte, I didn't even know he was in the league, but he's playing for the Mets, left field. They just got absolutely rocked by the Braves. I talked about that. But Pete Alonso is the first Met to have 4 seasons of 35 or more homers. That's cool. And he's the 6th Met to hit 4 home runs in a 3-game series, so nice. And the Mets and the Yankees have never both finished in last place in the East, so that might happen this year. We'll see. And the Nationals, they just beat the A's. Swept the A's. They swept us. Yesterday, the A's were winning 7-2. 7-2 in the 9th inning, and they let up 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. The A's hadn't done that in 1,159 games. 1,159-0, and then they gave up 6 runs and lose. Nice. So, AL Central. The Twins, I mean, your guess is as good as mine with this Twins team, man. What the heck is this? Like, I'm so confused. But this team might be interesting if the playoffs happen because they're probably going to make the playoffs from the Central. Can't see the Guardians doing it. And, like, who knows who they're going to play and who knows what's going to happen there. But it's weird. The Guardians, they're 4.5 games back of Minnesota. I don't think it's going to happen. But they just got Ramon Laureano. They just picked up the laser because, like I talked about last time, he's gone. And he was the last tenured A's player since, I think, 2019 or 2020, and he's gone. So just short 3 years ago, everyone's gone. But Ramon, he gets picked up, and in his Guardians debut, he drove in the only run in a 1-0 win. And that's pretty cool. And he was the first player to have the only RBI in a 1-0 win in a team debut since Ramon Laureano, when he made his Major League debut with the A's in 2018. So, Ramon, 2 times in a row, first time with his new team, provides the only RBI in a 1-0 win. So, Ramon, the laser, good for you, bro. Love it. And the Tigers, I mean, they're just kind of hanging around the middle, which is surprising, to be honest. I thought they were going to be hanging around at the bottom, but they're hanging around the middle. So, they're better than I thought, but they're the Tigers. The White Sox are just disappointment. Not very good. And I don't know what the future holds here. Is this a long-term rebuild? Is this like a few years? I don't know. I can't see it really being a few years. I think this is going to take a while there on the south side, and it kind of sucks. The Royals are not very good either. And, I mean, this division, the AL Central, just continues to separate itself as the worst division in baseball. It really does. And, like, all these teams are really at the bottom of the league, at least at the bottom of the American League. It's kind of sad. And they had a game this week where they had 6 extra base hits and 6 stolen bases for the 3rd time in franchise history. But they probably didn't win. Sorry, that's not nice. All right, we'll go to the National League Central. So I can be a little bit like that, all right? Because I'm an A's fan, dude. I watch every day. I watch just miserableness. Yesterday, 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Come on. I can be a little bitter, okay? National League Central. The Brewers still hold the National League Central crown at the moment. It's tight. They just had a tight series against the White Sox, but they took care of business. They won 2 games in extras, I believe, taking a run in the top of the 10th, but a little too close for comfort, like I said. And this is going to be a very interesting division. I talked about it a lot over the last 3 weeks. Cubs soared in out of nowhere. They've cooled over a bit over the last week, but they're 0.5 games back of the last wild card spot. They had it last week. They just lost it yesterday because the Miami Marlins jumped ahead of them. But they have a good lineup, and they have some good starters. So this team is, if they get to the playoffs and they ride their momentum for the next month and a half, they get into the wild card round, I don't know. That could be very interesting. They could be a good team. They could make a run. They have a couple good arms. Stroman, they got offense that could keep them in ball games. Christopher Morel became the first DH in Cubs history to hit a leadoff home run. I mean, they got interesting dudes. They got Morel. They got Ian Happ. They got Nico Horner. I mean, they got decent dudes. I like them. The Reds, I don't know. I picked them to win the division. When I made my division, I picked division, if you watched that, about a month ago around the All-Star break. And I don't know. Now it's not looking so good for them. They haven't looked good since I said that. And they're still only half a game out of the wild card spot. They're tied with the Cubs right now. But they haven't looked that good at all. The offense has cooled down. The pitching hasn't been great. Everyone's so young. That's kind of the problem, I feel like. Everyone's so young. So it's like they have 3 rookies with 10 or more home runs for the first time in franchise history, which is great. Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McClain, and Spencer Steer all have 10 or more homers. But they're going to need some veteran presence. I think this team is a couple years out. I really do. But Cincinnati's got to be excited. And today I'm rocking the cut shirt. I got the Pirate shirt on. Got the cut shirt on. We got the boy over here. So we'll talk about the Pirates a little bit. I mean, they're not great. They're kind of the same old buccos. But they had a 6-run inning this week, and it was their 5th 6-run inning of the season. And they've had one in every month from April all the way to August. So, hey, good for them. Good for the buccos. I think they won. They split a doubleheader yesterday with the Reds. Brian Reynolds hit a couple homers. I'm going to, what is it? I'm going to, tomorrow, today's Monday, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I'm going to Citi Field to go watch the Mets take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I've been trying to go to Pittsburgh all summer. It hasn't worked out. I'm sorry, Kutch. I'm going to get there next year. You got to re-sign. I need you. But I'm going to go to Citi Field for Edwin Diaz, trumpet bobblehead night tomorrow night, and I'm going to see McCutchen play. I'm going to be wearing this shirt. It's going to be a great time. So, yeah, but, I mean, they haven't been great. We'll see if they can beat the Mets, though, because that's going to be not a great game. And the Cardinals, I mean, talked about it a lot. There's nothing else to say about this team. It sucks. It sucks. Whew. And we'll go over to the Western divisions. The Rangers still edging out those Astros, and they just got Jonah Heim back. I've been talking about how Jonah Heim has been gone. He just got back, so that's good for them. They have a 2.5-game lead ahead of the Astros. That's good. The offense has been really dangerous, even when they didn't have Jonah Heim, and now that they don't have Josh Young. It's still been so dangerous. That just shows you how deep they are. Very deep team. And if Scherzer and others can just throw okay, the offense can carry this team. They can score enough runs to win. If you 3-run starts, 4-run starts, you're probably going to win the game. Max Scherzer's first start, he gave up 3, and they immediately scored those 3 right back, and he got a win. So it's fine. Like, you just got to be okay. And earlier this week, it's not active, but they did have a 7-game winning streak going on, which was their longest since 2018. So this Rangers team is very good, and they're still holding that Western Division in the American League. And they've already surpassed their win total from last year, 68, and they're 22 games over 500 for the first time since 2016. I mean, geez. And they already have 70 wins. I said they surpassed last year's total of 68. They already have 70, and they reached that in their 117th game, which is the fastest in Rangers franchise history. And Max Scherzer recorded his 1,700th career strikeout on the road. 1,700th just on the road. And that's the most by any active player, and it's 6th most since 1906. So Max Scherzer, future Hall of Famer, first ballot, crazy. Astros, they're right there behind them, and they're holding on to that second American League wildcard spot. And they look good. They do look good. And they have the Angels' number. They beat them every single time. They lost yesterday because Shohei homered. The Angels took 1 game of that series, but the Astros have the Angels' number. And every year, it's the same. And this is, they just continue to get good pitching, and their offense is always good. So the Astros are they're that team in the American League still. Rangers, if the Rangers can hold them off for the entirety of the season and win this division, I'll be very impressed. But we'll see. We'll jump to Seattle. We just talked about them a little bit with the crazy game they had yesterday against Baltimore. That was a good series. And Seattle's been one of the MLB's best teams over the last month. They put themselves in great position to make a late move. They were a half game out. They lost yesterday, so now they're 1.5 behind Toronto for the last wild card spot. But this team is very much alive. They just played the Orioles very, very well, who's arguably the best team in the American League. Them, Rangers, I mean, they're probably the two best. And, I mean, this Seattle team just played them real tough. Julio's been good. They've been getting a lot of production from Cal Raleigh. So, if these new guys, Dominic Canzone homered yesterday, if those new guys can come together, they can be good. And we'll jump down to the bottom two in this American League West. And I gotta calm myself down here. What the heck, man? The Los Angeles Angels, man. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, they're under 500. The Los Angeles Angels are under 500. Are you kidding me? Like, bro. Like, they're botching it so hard. Like, are you actually kidding? They're 2-8 in their last 10. 6.5 back from a wild card. Like, dude, Ohtani's not starting his next start because he's got arm fatigue. You guy can't do everything. Dude, you guys just made moves at the deadline. You were complete buyers. You got to make a run. You got to at least be fighting for the wild card come September. You got to be at least fighting for the wild card at least come September. Please. Please. But I'm freaking out about the Angels. I have 2 stats here about the GOAT, Shohei Ohtani. Of course I do. He got his 15th stat of the year. 15th stat. He's got his 15th steal. I'm freaking out so much. I can't even talk right now. Shohei got his 15th steal of the year. And he's the first player in MLB history with 40 home runs and 15 steals in the team's first 115 games. So even though the Angels can't do anything, he still is just doing whatever. He had 8 games in a row without homering this year, and that was his longest streak of the year. But what did he do? Homered immediately. So it doesn't matter. He's also the first player in MLB history with 40 home runs and 10 wins on the mound in the season. So he's the first player ever, 40 homers, 15 steals in the first 115 games. And also the first player with 40 homers and 10 wins on the mound. Like, dude, Angels, please, please help the guy, please. Oh, my God. And the A's. They're just as disappointing. It's just tough to watch. Everyone on the team's a young guy, but I mean, at least it's cool to watch like guys make their debut and get their first hits, like Lawrence Butler the other day, and like Zach Geloff. He's becoming very good, but Zach Geloff, we gotta talk about him for a second. Zach Geloff has been unbelievable. Zach Geloff became the fastest player in Oakland Athletics franchise history, Oakland, Kansas City, and Philadelphia, I guess, franchise history, to hit 6 homers for the franchise. Took him 22 games to hit 6 home runs. Zach Geloff, fastest player in A's franchise history, hit 6 homers. 22 games. That was on Thursday, right? Yesterday, he hit another 2 on Sunday to make it 8 home runs on the year. But I talked about the game a little bit. The A's were winning 7-2 going into the 9th inning. Bunch of walks, a couple base hits and an error. 7-7, and then a walk-off base hit to lose the game. And it was the first time the A's blew a 5-run lead in the 9th inning or later in 1,159 games. They were previously 1,158-0. So, the National League West, to wrap it up, the Dodgers, we talked about them earlier. They're back to being the Dodgers. They're 9-1 in their last 10. And Freddie is just so good. But I forgot to say this earlier. He got hit in the knee and had to lead the game on Saturday. I believe he did play yesterday, but that's something to look at. He did not look great. He was hobbled a little bit. And Mookie hit the Dodgers' 11th Grand Slam of the year this past week, and that ties the franchise record for the most in a season for the Dodgers. I mean, this team, they dominate the regular season every single year. It's ridiculous. Nobody can match the Dodgers in the regular season, man. It's crazy. We'll talk about the Giants. So they hold on to that second National League wildcard spot. They've been solid, but they've been a little bit shaky lately, and they're kind of weird. Like Logan Webb is pretty good. They have a couple of decent pitchers, Alex Cobb, like Stripling, but like it's kind of weird. Their offense isn't gonna knock you to the ground with the names it has, but they're all kind of solid. And yesterday, Logan Webb threw a gem, almost a complete game, almost a 1-0 complete game shutout. But he gave up a double, and they pulled him. And then the next batter hit a ground ball deep in the hole at short. Brandon Crawford tried to make a nice play to first, but Leody Taveras, who was on second base, never stopped and just scored on the play. So he tied the game, went to extras, and they actually lost the lead on a balk in the 10th inning, I believe. Or maybe the balk put the guy on third or something. But the Giants went down, and then Patrick Bailey hit a walk-off home run to give him the win yesterday. But this Giants team, they've been weird. I don't really know. Like, it's weird. Very weird. D-backs, they avoided 10 straight losses on Saturday. This was my divisional pick. They're under 500. There's two teams I picked to win divisions in the National League, the Reds and the D-backs, that I regret now because they're way too young and they're both under 500 now. So you can make fun of me all you want. I'm going to make fun of myself because I'm a squid. But they're the worst team in the MLB since the All-Star break. I said they're under 500, but they're only 2.5 games back of a wild card spot. So they could make the playoffs still. They got a fighting chance. But I don't know if the NL West is going to be a chance for them anymore because the Dodgers have been playing so good. Padres are only 5 games back. They're still not playing as good as they could, but they have a shot. And they might make me eat my words over the last month, but they have a shot. All the stars have to go right now, though, and that's the only way for them to do it. And the Rockies, I mean, there's really nothing new going on in Colorado. You know, it's just really the Rockies. We talked about a couple of their young guys, but, I mean, they're kind of just the Rockies. So that wraps up our standings update, and that's all we got for this week. And like always, follow, subscribe to the Bobby Valentine Sports Show accounts on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And then follow the BV Sports Academy pages on those as well. We'll be getting stuff on there as well. And then the Bobby Valentine Sports Clip. And make sure to visit bvacademy.com. And that's all we got for this week. And from me, Kike, Matt Olson, Matty Chap, that's all we got today. Peace out.